Hello all. Today's class is on training skill development for human resource management. This is in continuation with extension education. So we'll be discussing about human resource management and how it is relevant in extension education and the different trainings which are involved, etc. So what is a human resource management or HRD, human resource development? So the term human resource is interchangeably used with manpower, labor force, human capital, etc. Human resource is defined as the total knowledge or somebody as a human, what all resources are there in a human, like the knowledge, skills, creative abilities, talents, aptitude. So of an organization's workforce, as well as the values, attitudes, beliefs of the individuals involved. Now, human resource management is often linked with a company or an organization because it depends on the workforce. So all of HR managers means people who are actually involved in employing people, making taking care of the interviews, the recruitment process, etc. Because they are trained in evaluating skills, abilities, talents, etc. Now, human resource development is designed for improving the human performance by increasing human capacity and productivity, for ensuring a better quality of life to the individuals in and outside the organization. So human resource management or HRM is a set of organizational activities directed at attracting, developing, and maintaining an effective work. So it consists of human resource development. So unless human resources are adequately trained and developed to the required levels, they cannot be deemed to be effectively managed. So that is why human resource development makes the effective management of human resources. So to manage skills is very important for the overall development of human resources. Now, what is the definition? Human resource development or HRD can be defined as a set of systematic and planned activities designed by an organization to provide its members with opportunities to learn necessary skills to meet the current and future job demands. So this we're studying about organization. So whatever job is required, whatever job is at hand, the person or the human resource, the employees are expected to learn a set of skills. They are expected to have a certain set of skills so that to meet the current and future job demands. So according to Professor T.V. Rao, human resource development is a process by which the employees of an organization, they are helped in a continuous planned manner so that to acquire or sharpen the capabilities required to perform various functions associated with their present and expected future roles, and also develop their general capabilities as individuals, discover and exploit their own inner potentials for their own as well as the organizational development process, and also to develop an organizational culture in which the supervisor subordinate relationship, the teamwork, collaboration are very strong, and they contribute to the professional well-being, motivation, and pride of employees. So in a nutshell, it is something when you're working in an organization, when numerous people are working in an organization, this human resource development team or HR team will will work so that the skills are better, and the team, the social development is good, the relationship with each other is good, everything is maintained well, the inner potentials are discovered, they become effective individuals. So it's not just for the organization, you become a good person. For example, if you are telling about time management, they'll be they'll be given training about time management, money management, all those things. So this actually can help in the professional as well as personal lives. So what is the need for HR in extension organization? Now this is human resource development is very much needed in extension organization because lot of people are involved. Extension organization means we are all talking about training people, giving them information, providing them some knowledge, improving their some set of attitudes, beliefs, etc. So that's all about giving them So a lot of people are involved. That is why human resource development needs to be given a lot of emphasis when it comes to extension education. Certain there is extension organization are the assembling of two or more human beings collectively seeking to attain some common goal. Now, naturally, when people come together, there are chances for different problems, difference of opinion, etc. So, if the HR team is good, they will help to bring all the people together towards a common goal. Organizations came into being when it became necessary to relate or coordinate the activities of different human beings as they interact and pursue a common goal. So different way, when you are collecting and arranging different resources available, so that you are attaining certain objectives of the organization. For example, in an extension organization, you need to train the common people. You need to make use of lot of resources, take help from different people, from different, make use of certain things, that facilities, etc. So all these require a lot of management skills. That is why human resource development is very essential for how do you say, extension organization. And also the administration also becomes more efficient. Okay. And also proper organization of staff, recruitment of personnel, so that everything is good, the intellectual capabilities, physical qualities, proper relation with publics, etc. All these will be efficiently managed if a HR team is there. So extension administration is effective utilization and coordination of resources, so that to achieve the objectives of extension organization. So the purpose of extension administration is to create and maintain efficient organization, which is manned by well-trained and qualified personnel with the correct mind and aptitude. Okay, so that's so as to, what is the main aim of extension education is to convey the latest technologies to target groups. Now, extension administration also seeks to remove available and eagerly willing to solve the problems also. So what are the different goals of HRD system? So in human resource development system of any organization, the employees look both personally and officially. So there are different goals, like the the capability of each individual, each employee as an individual, as a person, that is supposed to be enhance the capabilities of each individual in relation to his role. Suppose a person is in he's in charge of sales, or somebody is having a clerical job, or if somebody is having field assistant or something like that. So it depends on the type of role he or she is doing. The capability of each employee in relation to his or her expected future role. What is he planning to do in the future? If you are planning a program in December, what is the person expected to do? The dyadic relationship or the dual relationship between each employee and his or her supervisor. So all these things need to be well managed. The team spirit and functioning, that is also very important. The people should not be like islands, nobody is cooperating or nobody is sharing their work. In an extension organization, when you are dealing with a lot of people, when you are have to when you have a common goal, it is very important to work as a team, and the team spirit should be well and functioning. Then only it will be effective. Just suppose you're going to have a curriculum, you have designed a curriculum, you have designed a course, and you're going to deliver it, but you're not sharing what your resources are, then it will be very difficult. So it's very important that in an organization the people should cooperate and share things. The collaboration among different units of the organization, like there will be different units, right? For example, if you are you will have a marketing team, or somebody with public relationships team, somebody who's managing all the PR work, like for example doing the advertisements, and then giving publicity for your programs, etc. So you should have a coordination or a good relationship with all the teams. Then only the organization goals can be attained well. Now let's discuss about training for human resource development. Now when you are when you are developing a person or developing an organization, when you're developing different people, there will be a lot of training which is involved. And that is why we're going to learn about training for HRD. So there are different types of training. The major two types is pedagogy and andragogy. Pedagogy is all about the art and science of teaching children, and andragogy is the art and science of teaching adults. Now, what are the different approaches? There are which, different concepts are there, like self concept. Like, for example, when you are teaching, when you are giving management lesson or human resource training to people, you have to have a very important lesson is of self concept, because whenever person joins an organization, they should have a proper self concept, that is a proper sense of self, good self esteem. They should identify themselves, they should have good confidence, they should identify as a part of a team, identify a part of the organization. So all these things can help in developing the person or an individual. Then experience, what type of experience is required and how it will be helping in the organization. Then readiness to learn, of course any person should be ready to learn, and the time should be a good thing. Then orientation for learning, so the person should be willing to learn new things and be equipped and will adopt adaptive to changes, and should inculcate all the new technologies, etc. So let's see what are the different, when you're talking about training, the major two type of training is pedagogy and andragogy. So it is andragogy as it's just for adults. So naturally it is all independent, you know, there is no such thing as it's very independent. You can, the experience a remarkable increase in motivation to learn, because, the person himself or herself is willing to learn. So the person is more experienced, and learners are grouped according to interest and learning needs. So based on their perception, the different learners can be they can be grouped. So the facilitator or the trainer will act as a resource person, so that he can help the learners from their different interest groups, and can understand their learning needs also. So it is usually problem centered learning, because it's usually more of practical, because it's all about adults, and they will have they will have some experience in the field, and they are not new to a subject, but they will need a little more updation, or little more practical experience, etc. So the answer, the subject or whatever is learned is usually problem centered. Suppose you are going to have a, you are addressing a kind of a problem, and you're going to, for example, as a person in a village, there is a problem for water, irrigation facilities. So the research center has come up with a solution to bring out different type of pipeline system, like a drip irrigation or something like that. Like there are a lot of precision farming and things like that are there now. So if you want to give what do you say, training on such new methods, you will be, it will be like problem centered. You will be focusing on one problem, and then you will be finding solutions to it. Whereas in pedagogy, it is like it is experience is not there. So the teachers will decide the content and assume the responsibility to decide how and when the learning should occur, because when, like, it's pedagogy is like for children, right? So naturally they don't have much of experience, and so there are no problems as such. You're going to just focus on the subject. Now let's see what training is and the concept, definition, etc. Now training is a process of acquiring specific skill to perform a job better. So training and learning are two different words. When you talk about learning, it's about concepts, but when it comes to training, it's always about skills. You have a training like job training, you're going to acquire certain skills. Okay, it's not just concepts or theories that you're going to learn, you're going to acquire some skills. So it is different from education. It is the act of increasing the knowledge and skill of an employee for doing certain job. Now when you're training, when you say use the word training, it will be very specific. Are you going for a training, like is it for driving? Are you going to be trained for a particular job? There will be some objective in mind, a very specific objective. So it is concerned with imparting a specific skill for particular purpose. It is a process of learning a sequence of program behavior. It is the application of knowledge, and it gives people an awareness of rules and procedures to guide their behavior. It helps in bringing about positive change in knowledge, skills, and attitudes of employees. Now, there are all these are different definitions and concept of training. It is a process that tries to improve skills or add to the existing level of knowledge so that the employee is better equipped to do his present job. For example, a person, an elderly person, he's been there in the job for a long period of time, maybe 20 years or 30 years, and he's not well versed with the internet and facilities, etc. So he'll be given little training in such use of maybe modern technology. So that such thing is like they'll be trained to do something that is like to do for a mold him for to be better for a job. So it bridges the gap between what the employee has and what the job demands. So training is not something that's given just once. It is a continuous process that, it is to carry out the narrow implication of imparting specific skill to an individual. So the meaning, it is to educate a person so as to be competent, qualified, and proficient in doing some job. Now, how is it defined? Now, you have a definition from Taylor and Linton and Parikh. So let's see the discussion. The definition, sorry. It's defined, training can be defined as a process of preparing the learners for certain line of action. It helps the participants to improve their job performance. It deals with understanding and skill. So this is the definition by Linton and Parikh. It was given in 1967. You can just go through it and write it down. Now, Taylor in 1961 gave another definition, that is training as a means to bring about continuous improvement in the quality of work performed by an individual and equip him with necessary knowledge, skills, abilities, attitudes to perform the job efficiently. So these are the two definitions of training. What is the need and importance for training? Naturally, it helps in the quantity and quality of workers' output. It enables the individual in making the best use of materials and equipments, reducing any damage to the system, etc. It develops worker effective work habits and methods of work, thereby reducing the accident rate in industries and the need for close supervision. Training helps to impart basic knowledge for new entries or new entrants who are coming, who are new to the job. They need some training about the basic whatever the job requires. Now, it is possible to prepare employees for more responsible positions if they are given good training. Now, the change in attitudes of employees in all directions can be achieved. So there are different levels of training. For example, when you're given training against about work ethics, you can give training about not just about their job or related to job. It can be something for overall development, like for example, how you can give how to write well, how to prepare reports. So all those things can be given as trainings. And also possible to reduce wastage of resources, improve the quality of products. It reduces any defects in, like for example, when a person is trained to do certain job, when you're doing it effectively, it reduces wastage, and also there is reduced defect. Then improves the capability to absorb new skills and technology. It's also helpful for the growth and improvement of any employee's career. Now, what else is there? Like, what all other things are like? What other advantages of having a training, good training? It gives employees a sense of satisfaction, makes them feel that they're being cared for. There is a morale. The relationship with the superiors also improve when they are given lot of they are given appreciation, etc. They it instructs the worker toward better job adjustments, reduces the rate of labor turnover and absenteeism. People want to go to work, they feel motivated to work. It also facilitates promotion of workers to higher job because their skills are being improved, and the market value increases, earning power increases, etc. It makes the employee committed and loyal to the organization, by educating him about the culture, philosophy, policies of the organization, etc. So the person becomes more attached to the organization. It helps in creating a pool of trained personnel from which replacement can be drawn to fill the loss of any person at a time. So if everybody is trained in a certain aspects, if they are given all basic training in certain skills or whatever the job requires, even if another person is not there, another person can take over. Now comes another word which is called as facilitation. Now, facilitation is the process to make it possible or easier for something to happen. So while training is to improve the job performance by imparting skills, the trainer is the one who makes that process possible. So a good trainer is a good facilitator, somebody or something which makes something easier to happen. Okay, so that is what a facilitator is. So a good trainer is a good facilitator. So a trainer is not going to do your job for you, but he or she is going to make it easier for you. Okay. For example, if you are in the catering business, a trainer will only tell you what is to be done and will make it easier for you, but will not do the job for you, right? So facilitator is the one who helps the participants learn from an activity. So anybody who makes things easy is a facilitator. They are also called as trainers. So an individual who enables groups and organizations to work more effectively, to collaborate, to achieve synergy is facilitator. So this person is a very content neutral person who doesn't take sides, doesn't have any advocate any point of view during meeting, etc. So it is like, the group or the organization's goal is kept in mind and they are being done. Because, a facilitator will be a person who is giving the training to the whole set of people. So the person should be very fair, should not have any prejudices, etc. Should not be biased towards anybody or any group, etc. Should be very fair, content neutral person. So one who contributes structure and process to interactions so the groups are able to function efficiently and to make high quality decisions. So that is what a facilitator is. So the facilitator's job is to support everybody to do their best thinking and practice. So to motivate them, encourage participation, promote mutual understanding, shared responsibility, etc. So that, he or she is responsible for supporting everybody. So what are the different roles of a facilitator or a trainer? So first of all, the facilitator or a trainer should know more about the people's learning styles and how, how to train. They should guide executives in establishing, directions for the organization. Then teacher, like the teacher or the teaching line managers, how to do whatever is to be done. He or she should be constantly be in touch with the employees and work processes, be aware of their skill needs. They should know who is lacking in what, which person needs help where. Then acquire in-depth knowledge of the organization and its mission or goals, because the trainer is supposed to give information about all this to the employees. So the trainer himself should know the goals, the vision, mission of the organization. The information technology, explore different use of electronic training opportunities, developing multimedia training program wherever it is possible. Then wherever training is needed, they should have a problem solving team. Then they should help the managers to think through performance and solve them through training or otherwise. For example, if a person's suppose an employee is being he's not performing well, so the HR team can know what is the problem, where the problem is it solvable by training, can they help them by training, or should they give any action, should they take any action against that person. So such things can be done by the facilitator or the trainer. Now, what are the different skills that need to be for a trainer? Now, training is a highly technical skill. A trainer should possess many skills. You know, a good trainer should have a different set of skills, like communication skills is very important, questioning skills, deal with difficult situation. The person should be a very good motivator. So all those things are the important skills of a trainer. Now let's see. You know, communication skill is the most important thing for a trainer, because he is supposed to give training by good communication. Without communication, naturally, whatever other qualification you have, if you do not have a good communication skill, you cannot become a trainer or a facilitator. So the person's communication skills will encompass a lot of things which we have already discussed in communication when we have studied about communication. So let's have a quick recap about the different skills which are required. The appearance, the person should look very pleasant, presentable, depending even the subject matter, and also the physical appearance, you know, should choose different visual aids, etc. Then, you know, choose the right place to stand. You know, he should not stand, you know, facing his back against the audience. The back should not be in front of the audience. They should stand face to face, and you know, it should not be too still or too mobile. He should not keep moving or become just you know, like a stick, stay in one place. Then it should be a two-way communication. It should not be that the trainer always tells it and he doesn't take feedback from the audience. It should not be like that. It should be a two-way communication. Okay. Holding the attention of the trainees. Now, very important is that good training means he should, you know, be very interesting. Should have humor, you know, jokes, stories, you know, ice breaking games, etc., so that, you know, the trainees are their attention is being caught. You know, it should be very effectively done, so that, you know, the trainees are totally involved in the training sessions, so that, you know, they don't feel distracted or anything. Then this interest should be sustained, you know, because by giving them purposeful, you know, giving you know, certain experiences, share their experiences, you know, different methods, different audiovisual aids can be chosen, etc. That good habits to gain professional respect, they should have a certain set of, you know, skills. For example, like when you're doing something there, you know, it should be very punctual. If the person says, okay, the training will start at 10 a.m., it should start at 10 a.m. The person should be thoroughly prepared. He should not be like, you know, he should not be like reading from anywhere or something like that. It should be very professional. It should have a plan. The training aid should be prepared. All the infrastructure should be in a good working condition. Everything should be prepared. The classroom should be neat, should start and finish on time. Everything should be ready. You know, clean the whiteboard. Everything should be, you know, very properly done. Now, the next one is asking questioning. Questioning skills is very important for a trainer, because there are many reasons for trainers asking questions. You know, whenever there is a training session going on, it's not like a lecture. A training session means the participants should be actively involved, and for the active participation, the trainer needs to ask questions, because the trainer needs to know different things, like what is the level of the participants, what do they know, what do they already know. If you're giving an exam, for example, if you're training them on food safety, you're giving a training session to certain people, and if you're you should know what their level of education is, how much do they know. Then, you know, to check the participants recalling capacity, what is their intellectual ability to find facts, to create, you know, to involve the participants, to create active learning, to gain feedback, to solve their problems, to check if they have understood it, to use as a revision, to create any discussion, to keep the participants interested, to stimulate thought. For all these things, questions are very important. Now, what are the different types of questions that you can ask when you are in a training session? The first one is direct questions. They are just, you know, directly posed to anything. You know, for example, you just ask them, what is the best temperature to keep, you know, certain things refrigerated. That's a direct question, so that you will know you can check the individual's understanding of the subject matter. Then, overhead questions, those questions which are like, which we pose to the whole group without, directing the question to anybody in particular, without, um, like, overhead questions is just asking a question generally to the group, like, okay, like asking, have you heard about this concept? So that's a very general question which is not posed to any individual, etc. It is like general question. Then closed question, there is just questions which involve just a yes or no answer, a single word response, yes, no. Have you do you know this? Yes, no. Then leading question, like some question where full description of the situation is given and then a question is asked. So this is like, the question can include a clue to the answer. Okay, so the such questions are called as leading questions. You're not giving, you're not just asking a question, you're actually prompting them to answer the question. The rhetorical questions, that they are like those questions which just involves them to get the trainees into thinking. You don't really need to answer it. For example, you just ask them, when is the last time you have had this type of food, or something like that. You don't really need to answer it, but the question is something that makes you think. Okay, it is very common for trainers to begin their session by posing a rhetorical question. So such questions are like to catch attention of the people, like, when is the last time you have ever done gone out, something like that. Watch a movie without this, without, like, some question like that, which to main, so that their attention is aroused, etc. Then there is open-ended questions, like, where they require a lot of time to answer, like you are asking them some experience. Okay, what did you learn when you went for this place, when you went to this place, what was your experience? So this is a very open-ended question. It requires information from the participant. So these are different types of questions that can be asked in a training session: direct questions, overhead questions, closed questions, leading questions, rhetorical questions, and open-ended questions. Now, what is an effective question? A question should be like designed very beautifully. It should be short. It should have only one idea. Don't ask like multiple questions to the training audience. The people will be distracted. It should be relevant. It should create interest. It should be in a language that everyone can understand. And it should require more than a guess to answer. You should have some facts. It should be used to emphasize key points. Now, it should also be related to the previous knowledge, like whatever knowledge they have, the employees will have. The question should be that it should not be something unrelated or something out of the blue. It should be a check of knowledge or understanding. It should be something like effective, not just any question that just pops up into your mind. So a good trainer should have these things in mind while asking good questions. Now, a person who will, we were discussing about the different skills of a trainer, of a facilitator: communication skills, the ability to ask good questions. The next skill is dealing with difficult situation. Now, when you are doing a training, many times trainers get difficult participants or situations in their sessions. Sometimes like different types of situations can occur. Like the group is like fully silent; they don't have any um the they are not interested. It could be different reasons, like the covering material is already presented, or they don't understand what is being presented or present, or it is too boring. So anything, if they are if it is too silent, that means they are not involved, the trainees are not involved, or they are not participating because they are not interested in it. Then things are moving too fast. Sometimes the groups become suddenly enthusiastic. Sometimes the lot of participants are there and they start commenting on some things. They it becomes really fast, so to sometimes it becomes very difficult to manage such a situation. Then certain times things are moving very slow. There is the group isn't motivated to listen to the presentation. So such things can also happen. Things are fast, things are slow. one participant will be there, one or two participants will be there who will be distracting the entire group by talking whole the time. So sometimes what happens is, when you're having a discussion, somebody just heads, some participant will be there who's extremely smart, or who will be taking over the discussion all the time. So they will have the answers to all the questions, they will be giving all the comments and everything. So such people are need to be silenced, because others should also be given opportunity. Then there will be certain participants who are extremely silent. So what happens is, they have to be asked direct questions, because they will be uninvolved, they will be sitting there in one corner, they will not tell anything. When you're asking questions, they will just think that, oh, let others answer. So for such people, the trainer should identify such people and should ask some direct questions. Then sometimes what happens is, the discussions will get so out of track, gets sidetracked. So some discussion starts in the right direction but finishes in the wrong place. You'll be starting about a case of certain things, and then it goes into some other case, and then it goes on. Okay, so and we'll have a completely different discussion at hand. When you're talking about policies, somebody will be saying, this government brought this policy and it was very good. This government is always doing good things, and they will have it can end up like a political discussion. What you have started off as a something related to the some policy or something like that. So that is what this discussions can be sidetracked. So all those situations should be handled well by the trainer. Then there are people with personality problems. Like personality problems can distract everybody. Like there are some comments, there'll be some disagreement between some participants. There's such like political or racial or language based or something like that, any other things. So between problems, in between the problems that comes up or comments that comes up can be distractive. Then there can be clash with the participant. They might be change of opinion or change of attitude. So because of that, there is a clash. Then there are some people who goes on talking ramblingly, just ramble on and on. So when they pause, it's possible to ask them which points their comments are referring to. So some people are there who just goes on and on talking. Then arguer will be there. So if you're like talking something, like you are going to say once comment, you are going to give an a theory, they will just argue about it without reaching any conclusive points. So all these things, the trainer should be ready to face all these situations. Then only you should go through it, and then you should effectively manage such situations. Then the very, very important skill is motivation skill. It is a urge, so that motivate the people should be motivated. You should feel like the people are being respected. They should feel a need. They should their feel a need for validation should be given by the trainers. The trainees should be called by their names. If you just call them, hey you, it's very disrespectful. But you call them by their name, they feel good. Oh, they remember my name. Then appreciate the change behavior. Oh, that's very good. Assign responsibility, give them some tasks, give recognition to achievements, encourage participation, pay individual attention, recognize different talents which are coming from the participants. So all these things are very important for a trainer. So these are the overall skills for a trainer. Now let's come to extension training. Now, extension training, like, is institutional training is there. There are different types, levels of training. Like institutional training is the training organized in a training institution. For example, there can be like Krishi Vigyan Kendras are there, farmers training centers or FTC, extension education institutions are there. So they are very formal and they provide trainings. Like from time to time, they give trainings. So the learners are away from home in a hostel with the sole purpose of attending the training. So they will be very attentive, they will be regular, and they can devote enough time to training. So the learners are exposed to related learning experiences through visits to different demonstration sites, new technologies, interaction with scientists, etc. So this is a very formal type of training, so it is given by certain institutions. Then non-institutional training is there, like off-campus training, you say. So that they are organized in a real life situation. For example, on the farmer's field or a home. the trainers are at their place and they come for the training every day. So it is not a very, what do you say, it's not as formal as the institutionalized training. It has certain limitations, like the learners can miss few sessions because of their responsibilities at home. Then they can come late, they can leave early, they may not be very attentive because they will be having different barriers. So such things are there in non-institutional training. But when it comes to institutional training, they'll be very punctual, because they are already their sole purpose is like they have devoted some time and energy for this training. Then comes comprehensive training. This is like both institutional and on farm. So they are like training, some training will be organized in the institution and some in the villages or at their farm. Then there's organization training, which is like when you're in an organization, when you have come into an organization, the training which is conducted there. For example, you have pre-service training, like it is a where a person is coming into a job. So before entering into the job, for example, a police, if you want to join the police force, naturally you will have to attend the training to become a police officer, right? So that is called as pre-service training. Then after you have enrolled, or you became employed there is in-service training, or the first in-service training. There are different types, like first one is the orientation or the induction, where you are you are inducted to a new social setting. You are oriented about different different job situations, the colleagues, their introduction to everything, the rules, working conditions, objectives, activities of the organization is being mentioned. Then there is foundation training. It is the early stage of service. Then on job training, it is like after you have started your job, when you are increase the knowledge of workers. Then there's promotional training. This is for giving promotion to any employee. Then refresher training, after some lot of time, the employees will be having some refresher training. The teachers and all will have refresher courses, so that they are staying updated with whatever is there. Then summer schools, winter schools are there. For specific areas, they will be given training sessions, etc. So that the skills are upgraded to meet the present demands. So what are the different steps for designing training? So training is something very formal, professionally done. So first of all, the assessment is conducted to assess the need. Where is training, or on what grounds or what areas training is required. Then based on the needs, objectives are framed. Then some detailed training sessions are planned. Then it is managed, and at last it is being evaluated. So this is just like any extension program. You first need to assess what are the needs, then you frame the objectives, then you plan the session, you manage the session, there is call out of controlling and everything done, and at last you are going to evaluate it. So objectives, as mentioned earlier in earlier classes, it's just the outcome or whatever you want to achieve at the end of the training. It should be clear, should be simple, it should be measurable and time bound. So there should be changes, like there is knowledge, attitude, skills. So that is what is KAS, knowledge. There should be the objectives, which is, it should be in specifically refer, like in relation to the knowledge that should be gained after this training. Attitude, there should be some change in their attitude, there should be some improvement in their skills. So KAS stands for knowledge, attitude and skills. So those are these different objectives that should be framed. And at the last session is evaluation. After the training is done, the training evaluation should be conducted, so that you need to know how much the objectives were achieved, what all strategies were successful, what needs improvement, what needs to be strengthened, what needs to be modified, what are the different areas that need improvement. All those things are the results are measured and evaluated. So these are the different ways of which human resource development is. You can have training of people, training of personnel, training of people can be done in an extension organization, where an extension officers are given training then based on their skills, abilities, etc. Hope it is clear to all of you.